Folks, a really great privilege for myself and for all of you listeners to be here at Jazz and Lincoln Center for a rehearsal for big band holidays. And it's a tradition here at Jazz and Lincoln Center. You know, Jazz Lincoln Center is 30 years old this year in 2018. And I always find my way here every holiday season. You know, we love holiday music and we love jazz. The director for the performance Big Band Holidays, which is all this weekend here at Jazz's Lincoln Center, is the great clarinetist, scholar, teacher, jazz master, Victor Goines. How are you, my brother?
I'm better now with all those titles you gave me. You should come out and be my PR person, man.
Be happy to do it, man.
All right.
How are you, man?
I'm good, thank you.
Congratulations on everything.
Thank you very much. It's been a great show for us, a tour and all.
Yeah, so you all been on tour for the past 3 weeks or so?
Yeah, we started on November 27th in Ann Arbor, Michigan, kind of worked our way through the South, through Texas, across the East Coast, back up to Pennsylvania, and now we're back home.
So you don't make it easy on yourselves. Y'all do the whole tour and then come back here and wind up and do a big performance all weekend.
Ease is a fluid term.
Right. This has always been such a great tradition here at Jazz and Lincoln Center every Christmas holiday season. What's special about it for you?
Well, it's special because it brings out the kid in everybody. You get to play songs that are very, very familiar to people regardless of what their religious beliefs are. People come out and have a festive holiday celebration.
Is there something about the intersection between Christmas, traditional Christmas tunes, and jazz?
Well, if you think about something like Dr. Seuss, and you think about Charlie Brown and all of those songs, they had jazz musicians actively participating in that music and so many things of a historical nature. So for us, it's our opportunity to bring those things back to life in our own way in terms of the band doing arrangements of holiday classics. So you from New Orleans? I am.
Right. How much influence was it being in New Orleans, growing up, breathing into music, and was there a lot of holiday jazz down there when you were growing up?
There's music everywhere in New Orleans. You can't avoid it. You have to be dodging the cracks of the rain to try to avoid music in New Orleans and holiday songs as well. We played everything when we grew up. I mean, street parades, we played official classical concerts, we played obviously in jazz context, we played just everything. So to incorporate all of that into the holiday performances is just a natural thing for me and for many of my colleagues.
You've been a teacher. What's it like working with these two new and young, dynamic young vocalists you have here?
Well, they come with a lot of talent, so we're collaborating more than we're educating in this case. So it's a great opportunity to prepare music for them and get an idea for the feel what they want. But I think it's also a great learning experience to be able to play with a band like the Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra, to work with Wynton.
Right.
You have all of this history on stage with them, so this is a great opportunity in a situation where there are not many big bands for young musicians to sing along with.
Now, you've been with Wynton, and you've been here. Have you been here the full 30 years pretty much?
I haven't been here 30, but I've been here 25, so we're 30 years young, by the way.
Right, that's right.
And,
that's right.
And but it's been a great opportunity. I mean, I remember when the organization started, and I watched so many of the concerts when it was on live from Lincoln Center. But now that we're doing streaming from our own venue and all of that, it's a great evolution and growth period in the organization. So
when you're putting together a show like this, I'm sure there's so many songs you have to kind of leave on the cutting room floor because you can't do everything, right?
You cannot do everything. That's the greatest challenge. I mean, in fact, one of the things Wynton always says about the members of the orchestra is that his greatest challenge is trying to find a way for everybody to be put out in front and get an opportunity to play. So we can't do everything, but over the years we've managed to incorporate a lot of great songs in terms of not only these holiday songs, but nursery rhyme concerts.
Right.
You know, collaborations with someone like Abyssinian and Yaqub Hadi and his band. So the great thing about the organization is the educational component of it all, because we've learned so much in our development as musicians, because we're always pushing the envelope of what we can do in a challenging, kind of competitive way, but in a joking and respectful way to each other. So we always challenge each other. You know, just sitting here listening to the rehearsal, you know, so a lot of times we deal on air with politics more than anything else. And it was like I was able to go somewhere else and escape for a minute. Are you aware of your, and I was looking at some of the people here in the audience who were doing that. We all just went another place. Yeah. Are you aware of that power you have to help us, you know, to do that, to kind of escape? I mean, you got
somebody across the street with a building named after him. But anyway, are you aware of that?
We like to believe that we could at least assist people with washing some of the dust of the day-to-day trials and tribulations they deal with in the outside world when they come inside of our hall. And the many times that I've performed in the club at Jazz at Lincoln in Dizzy's or in the Rose Theater, I remember speaking to Winton once after a concert. I said, how can I make that better? He said, the goal is to make everyone feel like they're in their living room.
Yeah.
So when they come in, we want people to feel like they're at home.
Yeah, no
in
question.
fact, we call this the House of Swing. We want them to be at home in the House
Sure
of
is.
Swing.
They're definitely House of Swing. Okay, I'm putting you on the spot. Favorite Christmas carol to arrange for jazz?
Well, this year, my favorite one to arrange for jazz was The Grinch.
Okay.
And it features our baritone saxophonist, Paul Nizzella. Yeah. And the interesting thing about it is he's just the opposite of the Grinch. So it gives him an opportunity to go outside of his own personality and evoke the spirit of the Grinch.
Yeah. And I was watching you up there on stage. You're the coolest and most low-key director I've seen, man.
You can come with me anywhere, man. I think we should bring you to Win and talk about that.
Well, speaking of which, since we so cool, it just, meet me first time. Do I give you the impression that, I might be able to join the orchestra one day and sing with you or something? Do you kind of picking that up for me?
Yeah, I think you could be in the band, but we do have an audition policy, so we're gonna send you to our department and you can fill out the paperwork. We'll invite you in to see if it can work.
Always admire your work, brother. Thank you so much, man.
Pleasure.
Happy holidays to you. Thank you for talking
and to you
us.
and everyone.
All right, Victor Goines. Thank you. Folks, a part of this great big band holidays concert over the next few days here at Jazz Lincoln Center. You can watch the concerts at jazz.org. We're happy to be here. As I've said, it's something I've always taken part in every holiday season because I love jazz and I love the holidays. And two up-and-coming young vocalists who don't sound up-and-coming. They sound like they've been around for a long time. These are some great spirits and souls. Veronica Swift is here to my left. Veronica, how are you?
I'm good. How are you? Oh, man, it's good to be here.
Wonderful voice.
Thank
Enjoyed hearing you rehearse. And my brother here, Vuyo, Sotashe, how are you, brother?
I'm very well, thanks.
My brother from South Africa.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
I'm very well. Very happy to be here as well.
So this is the first time the two of you are here on this Rose Hall stage together. Am I right about that?
Together, yes.
Together.
Yeah.
How's that feel?
Well, the last time I think we've shared the stage a few times together, different room, Appel room.
Right.
The first time, of course, being the Monk competition.
Yeah.
So
Right.
just our journey together as artists and just young, like you said, when coming with our different journeys, our different stories, but here together sharing this moment in jazz history and these incredible musicians is incredible.
In fact, it was the Monk competition that really kind of broke ground for both of you, wasn't it?
Yeah, in many ways. I think the Monk competition in general has created so many careers for young artists, all over the world, internationally. So it was such a poignant thing that we got to meet there, and then at the end of this year, like sharing the stage with such an incredible orchestra in this institution. So yeah, it's been amazing.
I always admire when young people like you decide to follow jazz, because there's so many other genres that you can be involved in. What attracted you to jazz? What is your love for jazz?
My love for jazz is literally my family. I grew up, both my parents are well-known jazz musicians. I grew up on the road with them. And so I never actually decided this is what I wanted to do. It was just it's like with language, you grow up speaking your family language. It's the same principle. And just the path that has been placed before me, I guess.
You sound like you don't even have to try, just kind of. Is that right? Is that the way it happened? It's kind of, you just breathe and it happens, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a level of work that goes into it, but it kind of, it feels very natural.
It's in your DNA.
I would say so, I guess.
We've all known and enjoyed, all of us who were involved in the anti-apartheid struggle, first heard of all the great voices coming out of South Africa. I always saw a parallel between the civil rights music we listened to over here and what was going on in the anti-apartheid struggle. And then, of course, not only Mother Miriam, but Hugh Masekela brought jazz from South Africa. What kind of influence did they have on you?
Oh, it was huge. I mean, both of them are artists that really created a space for sub-Saharan artists, let alone African artists around the world, to exist and to flourish and to really just pursue their dreams. So their influence really is something that is absolutely timeless, and also their relationship to this institution is one that's worth noting too. But yeah, I had to make the decision for myself because I grew up in such a different music tradition. I grew up in church music and African traditional choral music. But I discovered jazz along my journey of loving music and fell in love with it, and funnily enough got to see Wynton and the quintet in 2005 when they came to South Africa for the first time, because they had like different years before, like saying that they were going to come, but they didn't. But my sister flew me up from Cape Town to Johannesburg to come see them, and along with McCoy Tyner and them. So it's quite like a poignant, I mean, it's a beautiful moment for me, and how I fell in love with jazz to be here in this room singing with them, like after all of these years.
Listening to you with that a cappella quintet. That sounded like a little bit like home then, didn't it?
Definitely.
Did you do that?
Yeah. I mean, I fell in love with music through that, like through choirs and singing with people. So, and it was only through this context, jazz, that I started stepping out as a soloist, which is what I appreciate it for as well. So.
Indeed.
Yeah.
What about jazz and intersection of holiday music? What is that like for you?
The intersection of holiday music. From where I come from, there was the holiday music was always jazz in the family house. You know, there's that hipster holiday record, which you know it's got Christmas carols too, but they actually had jazz standard Christmas carols like Cool Yule. You know, Louis Armstrong. Everybody's waiting for the man with the bag, which is what I'm singing tonight. Christmas Time is Here. Vince Guaraldi from Charlie Brown. These are all, I would consider them jazz standards just as much as Christmas carols. And I mean, to be singing these songs too, like from my childhood, it's just wrapping it up so nicely. You know, it's hard to get in the holiday season when we're on the road all the time and we're, you know, different shows, different groups here and there, and sometimes it's hard to just take a step back and realize we're people. We gotta, celebrate the holidays. Stop.
Is there a lot of jazz and Christmas music together in South Africa? Is that a phenomenon there?
I think, I'm sure it is, but it was one that I wasn't, readily exposed to. I think watching television and like hearing those songs from Hollywood, I mean, you know, coming from Hollywood was, I guess, my first experience or my first interaction with Christmas and perhaps the big band, you know, sound in Christmas, you know, or jazz, you know, context. But it was when I moved here where I really got, you know, I got to see the culture of caroling, of Christmas jazz music, and getting to learn about, you know, the different, you know, television shows and things that were happening here. But it's such an honor, I mean, to get to be a part of this right now.
I'm sure it is. I mean, this is you're in New York on Broadway at Christmas at the biggest jazz venue here. I mean, you got to be tripping a little bit, right?
Well, yes, and at the same time, for everyone around us to be treating us like we're at home is also part of. It's not the grandiose part is amazing, but really the most amazing part is the fact that everyone's just like family, and we're welcomed like we're just coming home. Everyone says when we walked in the door today for rehearsal, "Welcome home," and to be considering this home is a Christmas wish, whatever wish come true.
You ever have to pinch yourself?
Oh, multiple times over this year and over the tour. It's been I don't think I've found the words to articulate like what it has been for us, and also just being on the road and getting to see the country with this music and with these incredible humans on stage. It's been like a trip of a lifetime.
So I put you on the spot. Favorite Christmas song?
My favorite Christmas song? Well, I have to say Christmas Time Is Here. Just because melodically and harmonically, there's a lot of great Christmas songs. But for me, that was the one that when I was a kid always made me cry, you know.
Christmas time is here, happiness and cheer. Feels good to me.
I think there was something about the children's choir singing it and the melody, and I'm lovely that I get to sing it tonight too. You know, I think that's one of my favorites.
And a beautiful rendition is that. What about you? Favorite?
Wow. Oh my gosh, there's so many to choose from, but my favorite one would have to be one that we're actually not doing tonight, but one I love. It was made famous by Andy Williams, called Some Children See Him, and it's a very beautifully written Christmas carol because it talks about how we can celebrate Christmas but still be so diverse. Like it speaks about how everyone would see the depiction of, I guess, the baby Jesus. Some people see him Snow White, some people see him russet brown, some people see him in so many different ways, but all appreciate what this moment in time or this moment in a year would mean to everyone. So that's one of my favorite ones that I enjoy.
Wonderful. What else you working on? Any projects coming up? CD, anything? What's happening?
Yes, I actually just got signed to Mac Avenue Records, and we are releasing my debut album with them, my 4th album as a leader, in the early, late winter, or like February, March months. And from there I'll be doing, touring that and working on my next project, which will be a musical that I've written.
Oh, really? You written a musical?
Yes.
Outstanding.
Yes. Thank you.
All right. What about you, man? What's up with you?
Well, I'm actually working on this fellowship. I received a fellowship from the Public Theatre to create a work, and we're doing that. And funnily enough, we'll be touring. I've got my band touring a lot around the United States next year. But we're also premiering a play at the Kennedy Center in January about migration. So that's something my mind's going to go into.
Is it a play you've written?
No, it's a play that I collaborated with, but was written by 2 incredible artists, Kaneza Shal and Christopher Myers. But we're premiering that in the Kennedy Center in Jan, so that's going to be happening.
Well, we're very proud of you both. I know this is Christmas, it's late. I'm going to lay something heavy on you. I was saying this to Brianna and I were on the phone last night.
Awesome.
And so I was saying this to her, you all as young people, keeping this art form alive for young people. And to know the history of this art form in America is very, very important. So you all are doing some very serious and important work in terms of culture and struggle, and I admire you for that. And it's something we can't take for granted. I had Mary Wilson of the Supremes all with me a couple of weeks ago, and I asked her, why is everybody in Detroit so good? Why were they such great singers? And she said, there was something in the water, but it was in school, and very few schools offer the musicianship as they used to, so young people can know that they have an opportunity to do that and really find out if they have that talent and an inspiration. So what you all are doing is very, very important in terms of keeping this music and this America's only original art form, jazz, alive. So I admire you both for that.
I always say to the audience, go out and share this music with anyone, no matter, even if you think they won't like it, like your grandchildren, your children, share, and
It's a powerful music. It's a powerful music, and also what it was birthed out of. Is something that is timeless. It's part of this country's history. It's part of world history.
That's right.
So it's something that will live. I mean, a lot of people say that jazz is dead, but how can an art form ever die? It's something that outlives us and what our perception is of time and everything. So.
That's right.
And for it to have traveled so far and really bring people out of so many places to come study it and really honor it is it's a testament to that. So
and bring people like two of you together, because it has always inspired a level of diversity and collaboration before anything else was integrated in America. Jazz was.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's very important. So Big Band Holidays here at Jazz Lincoln Center, Rose Hall. I don't know if there are any tickets left. I mean, everything's sold out. We'll try to work it out. You all can contact my friend Rebecca Kim and get tickets if she has any more left. If not, you can go. Yeah, I put it on the radio, y'all. Y'all see what I did? That's what I do. I'm bad. I don't know how to behave. But go to jazz.org. You can also see the video there. They'll be streaming. And so check it out there. I want to thank both of you. Again, really proud of both of you, and look forward to seeing more and more. I see him at the club all the time. I don't see you at the clubs, but you don't hang out over at the club.
I'm on the road. I travel.
On the road.
I live out of a suitcase. God.
Yeah, we hang out at the club all hours of the night. It's something else. So.
I do when I'm here.
Okay. We'll look for you over there.
Thank you, man.
All right,
Thank you so much. Nice.
Veronica Swift website.
VeronicaSwift.com.
Check her out, y'all. Beautiful, powerful voice. I mean, she's got a lot of presence, just like the great ladies of jazz.
Yeah.
Website.
Vuyo Sotashe, VUYOSOTASHE.com.
All right, wonderful. Thank you both.
Spell it out.
Folks, no, you're fine. Folks, we're glad to be here, Jazz and Lincoln Center. Thank you both.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening?
In the lane, the snow is glistening.
A beautiful sight, we're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland. Gone away is the bluebird.
Here to stay is the new bird.
He's singing a song as we go along. Walking in a winter wonderland.
In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he is Parson Brown.
He'll say, are you married? We'll say no. Do the job when you're in town. Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made. Walking in a winter wonderland.
So baby boo
Parson Brown.
He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man. But you can do the job while you're in town.
Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire to face unafraid the plans that we made. Walking in a winter wonderland.